Today is May the 3rd, and I have just finished my run. It's Saturday, and every week I'm going to just try to do a wrap up episode where I just sort of summarize the thoughts of this week and just put a nice little ribbon or bow on the end of the week. So we had the election this week. This week I started sharing my thoughts about my thoughts on wanting to go to the US for half a year on a visitor visa and go to Spain for 90 days, as I've been doing for the last couple of years and then maybe spend less time in Canada. At first, I thought maybe that was because it was a financial decision, and then I ran the math and realized that from a tax perspective, certainly not a financial decision. It has more to do with just watching something that was great, like the city and the province that I'm in, become less great as it grows and tries to cater to the big base of needs that all the individual people have in our city and in our province and our country. So then that got me thinking about putting an E2 visa together to get into the US to start a business. Need $100,000 or more, need a business plan. And so I'm going to start going down that path. The only decision was, where do I do it? So far, I've landed on Austin, Texas, because I'm not sure that I'll start a bricks and mortar business there, but maybe just take my startup from where I am now, bring it down there, look to get involved in the local tech community down there and see if I can't grow it. And then over the course of this week, just had lots of interesting conversations with my pals, business owners, and there's sort of two big things that I thought about as I look to stabilize the business I have here in Calgary, build a really great team around what we're doing. I don't know if I said it earlier in the week, but we're got enough kind of business on the books this year that we're going to double in size. And so that means as the owner, although I'm not an operator, my job is to make sure that we've got the right people on the team. And so this week I've started looking for someone that can be a local warm body that we can use to do a whole bunch of things from purchasing to some basic invoicing and bookkeeping, which we currently are doing overseas. But there's some specific tasks that can only be done locally. And so we're going to add some more bench strength to the team in that way. And we've growing our project management team too. And so I pulled out my old E-Myth book, which is a classic, of course. I haven't read it since I was a younger man. And looking to see, when you double in size, everyone just can't work harder. So, as a business owner, I'm trying to make sure that I make the right decisions to get the right people in place to do the right work and not micromanage it, because then I may end up breaking it. But in the course of doing all of that, chatting with a friend of mine, there's this idea that maybe a recession is coming in Canada. I don't necessarily share that opinion, but he's working as if it does. And in their business, it's interesting. I have this theory that the top 20% of the market does 80% of the business, and 80% of the market does 20% of the business, and that leads to business just being very, very hard because margins are thin and so forth. And if you don't really understand how to run your business when times are bad, and you can only run your business when times are good, as an owner, I think you got to look really hard at yourself and go, okay, what hacks do I need? When I took over the business that I currently have, it was during COVID, and we had just a whole bunch of hacks that we needed to use in order to make sure that we could be profitable during COVID. So then when COVID was over, your profitability just goes up. And now that we're growing, it requires a different set of hacks. But in his business, he doesn't have that yet. And it really annoys him and frustrates him and bothers him that he doesn't have it. And it just reminded me that we're not guaranteed stability ever in any aspects of our life. I'm married, 5 kids, a couple businesses. There's nothing that I am guaranteed to have today or tomorrow or the next day. But a lot of businesses are really upset, certainly with the American political environment. Even me with the Canadian political environment, that things are unstable, and that causes fear and that causes stress. But the truth is, as business owners, we're really burdened with the responsibility to provide stability to our team in the face of instability. And so we shoulder the burden to make the decisions that we have to make in order to make sure that our businesses can survive. And so that's one of my big takeaways this week, is I keep hearing this idea of stability and instability and who knows what the future holds. And the truth is, it's always been like that. We've just had a couple of decades where that hasn't been the case, and it's very unsettling for people. But if you own a business and you're listening to this, you can adopt my position, which is you got to just play the game that's on the field. You can't pretend that there are other factors that you can leverage. You have to play the ball where it lies. And that's the posture that I've adopted during this moment right now, as I look to decide, how am I going to take all this unbridled hope and ambition and put it somewhere where I think it could be productive. And I'm just not convinced that this is the best place for that. The probably, in my mind, I have this notion of an American dream. So I'm going to see if I can't chase it down, and I'm going to be vlogging and blogging and sharing my thoughts with you as I go through that. So anyway, if someone were to ask me today, am I going to stay or am I going to go? It is a 100%. I'm still working on going.